TeannaBReading here, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. So, I went to see Sinners yesterday, so we're going to do a review today. I haven't done a movie review or TV show review, movie or TV review in a long time. I used to do those, but I feel like I want to review Sinners because I want y'all to go see it if y'all haven't seen it or didn't plan on going to see it. So, first of all, the movie honestly was a 10 out of 10. But I feel like it's a movie you have to see multiple times because it's that good and you kind of miss stuff. So I recommend going to see it more than once. 10 out of 10 for sure. I rated it a 9 out of 10 and I'll tell y'all why throughout the review. So let's start. First of all, as y'all know, written, directed, produced, all of the shebang by Ryan Coogler. I believe his wife also has producing credit on this movie as well, Zinzi Coogler. So shout out to them. But obviously the movie is starring Michael B. Jordan, who is playing two roles in this movie. He is playing a pair of twins, Smoke and Stack. Smoke seems to be the more level-headed, more mature, more, for lack of a better word, mean twin. And if I didn't say he is the older twin, whereas Stack is more fun, more like jovial almost. He is more, I don't know, he still has a lot of confidence, but he almost has like this childlike confidence to him, whereas Smoke is more like grown man confident, if that makes sense, which does not shock me because throughout the movie we find out that essentially Smoke has spent their whole lives protecting Stack. And I guess it's easy to be more jovial if you always have a for sure person watching your back, whereas Stack is always watching Smoke's back as well, but I wouldn't consider him a for sure person, if that makes sense. Anyways, we are introduced to them. The movie opens with their younger cousin, preacher boy, whose name is Sammy, and we kind of get like a rewind, fast forward type of thing where we see him stumbling into his father's church, and he's bleeding, and his father like put the guitar down, basically, you know, it's gonna be okay, whatever he says. And then we get a what happened one day ago flashback. And one day ago, this whole movie takes place over the course of like maybe 24 hours, if that. One day ago, we see Smoke and Stack come back into town from Chicago. There's a lot of backstory we find out, you know, in terms of like, or not necessarily find out, but you can kind of assume based on what was going on in Chicago around that same time. But they come back to Chicago, they come back to Mississippi from Chicago, and they have a bag full of money. Where they got the money from, they ain't telling nobody. But they ain't their money. They done came back with some money from somewhere. And they buy this old, meal or whatever it is, and decide that they're going to open a juke joint. The person who sells them the meal is a white man, and they tell him straight up, keep your clan members away from our building, our property. If y'all come back here, y'all gonna be unalived. And the white guy is basically like, oh, there's no clan around here anymore. When I was at the movie theater and he said that, I just looked, because the clan is still around in 2025, sir. You can tell me it wasn't no clan around no more in the 1930s. You lying, but okay. So they go pick up their little cousin Sammy from his father's church, and because Sammy's gonna play at the club basically, and they go pick him up. He gets in the car. It's the three of them. They ride off into where they have like another car or truck, I guess, full of stuff, weapons, liquor, stuff. All this stuff is obviously stolen. Now looking back, it's obvious that it's stolen, but in the moment, you don't know this. And Smoke and Stack has decided, Smoke is trying to wait like a week to open the club or whatever. But Stack has decided, no, we need to do this tonight. And they split up so that they can cover more ground. And Smoke goes into town to get like the stuff taken care of in terms of like getting a sign made, going to his baby mama's house to get her to cook, and you know, he's doing his part. Stack goes into town with the little cousin Sammy, and they go to hire people. So Delroy Lindo's character is, I think his name is Slim. He is a famous blues player in their area. He hires him. He's also an alcoholic. He has a drinking problem. And at first he tells Stack, no, I'm not going because I have a for sure job. They're paying me probably less than what you're going to pay me, but I'm going to have this job for sure. You just opened this place tonight. Can you guarantee you're going to be here tomorrow? Can you guarantee you're going to be here the next day? Can you guarantee you're going to be here the next day? This place that I'm playing for, I'm probably making less than what you will be paying me, but I can guarantee I got a job. So Stack basically pulls out like an Irish beer or whatever that they clearly done stole from the Irish folks up in Chicago. And because Delta Slim is an alcoholic, he is enticed by this, and he's like, I want to try that beer. He tries it, he likes it, and Stack is basically like, you can keep it, and there's more where that came from if you come to my club tonight, and then you can do what you want to do after tonight. You make your own decision. So of course, Slim is like, I'm down. On the other, well, Stack also goes to recruit a friend that he grew up with who is now a sharecropper working in the fields. And he's like, I could put some more money in your pocket to where your wife's gonna want to do some things to you when you come home with this money. And the wife is like, you need to go see what he's talking about. And he is played by, who's Cornbread? What's Cornbread's name? His last name is Miller. I can't think of his first name. He also plays in 8 Mile. 10 big girls, 10 him. I forgot his real name. Anyway, so he gets in the car with Stack. The drunk is in the car with Stack. The cousin is in the car with Stack. Stack is in the car with Stack. And they getting ready to go back to the club because he got his people that he supposed to went got. He ready. Smoke also has to go into town to get a sign made by... The Asian lady said that the vampire spoke Chinese. So I am going to assume that they are also Chinese. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't want to blanket it by saying Asian. I feel like they were Chinese. I feel like that was the point. And that was intentional. So I don't want to just say Asian. A Chinese couple, they own 2 stores in town. I did not catch this. But I did see a real story where the lady, another Asian lady, was talking about how they would have a store on the white side of town, one store on the black side of town, because there was still segregation in Jim Crow. So each race had to have their own store, and the same Chinese family or Asian family would own those stores. And in the movie, Smoke goes into the store that the man runs, Bo. The Chinese man, he runs this store. He's like, hey, I just shot some people outside because they were trying to rob his truck because they didn't know it was his truck. And they like, oh, Smoke and Stack is in Chicago. And they trying to go in that man's truck. He catch them because he got somebody watching the truck. And she alerts him. He goes out, he shoots them both in the middle of the street. They did not die, he just shot them in the leg. And in the butt, whatever. He goes and tells the Chinese man, Bo, hey, I just shot people outside. Here goes some money. Get them patched up, please. And I need a sign made for tonight. Because me and my brother Stack, we opening a club. Bo, his daughter is working there with him. What's her name? Lisa? Whatever her name is. The daughter is working there. He tells the daughter, go across the street on the other side to get your mama. Because that's who makes signs. And you can tell Bo, I don't want to say he's necessarily friends with Smoke and Stack, but he has a level of understanding with them, where he's just like, you just shot somebody, you know, like it's not like, oh, keep these crazy people away from me. Like he kind of just like, what we doing? You know, like versus his wife Grace was kind of just like, we only have red paint. This is how much it's gonna cost. This how, you know, like she's not. We ain't talking about for play. Let's talk about what you need done. Not saying she's not friendly with them, but it's very much so what you need done. So they agree. All right, we're gonna come, do the sign, provide this, provide that, whatever. Smoke also buys some flowers from there. And then he goes to what we learn is his baby's gravesite because he and his partner Annie had a baby that they lost. So he goes to the gravesite. The gravesite is on Annie's land property. It's right outside her house. So she comes out. They talk about where he's been and what is he doing back in town and, oh, I missed you. And they kind of have it starts off with them having an argument. Then they end up doing some things. They talk about I can't think of what it was called. What did she call it? She gave him a thing to wear around his neck as a form of protection. I can't think of what the name of it was. I'll make sure I insert it on the screen because I want to make sure I get this stuff right. But basically it had some type of protection cast onto him to protect him while he was in Chicago. And he basically calls her hoodoo practices BS because they lost the child. And he's like, where was all this? Where was all that protection when we lost our baby? And she's like, I don't know, but you made it to Chicago and back. How you know I wasn't protecting you? Which she got a point. Anyway, she kind of upgrades. I can't think of what it was called, but she upgrades it. And he puts it back on. And he asks her, can you cook for us? She's like, whatever. She eventually decides to okay it. So now Smoke got his people and he ready to go back to the club. While they're in town, I forgot to mention this part. Stack comes across Mary, who we find out is his little boo thing, but she is now living life as a white passing woman. And he said, you can't be over here no more. And I saw some people talking about that's not white passing, she's just white. I think you guys have to remember this is 1932, I think it was. It was the 1930s. 2025 and what race systems are now is not what they would have been in the 1930s. If you had a black family member, you was colored right along with them. Like, y'all are saying, well, it was only a half grandparent that was half the grandparents only half black and she ain't really black. She was not infiltrating a black space. She grew up with them. Because in her town, she is a colored person like they are. Everybody in her town sees her as a colored person, right along with the black people. Her mom raised Smoke and Stack. This is not a situation where she's some white girl from the other side of town who's coming over here bothering them. She grew up with them. That's why once we get further in the movie, Cornbread's just like, oh, hey, Mary, come on in. Because they all grew up together. They all know where she comes from. They all know her backstory. They all know exactly who she is. When Stack decided he was leaving Mississippi, I'm assuming this is my thought process, he convinced her, I don't want to leave you down here by yourself. You need to go to another state where they don't know you are colored. They don't know you black. And find you a nice white man and marry them. Because I'm guessing in Stack's mind, that was a better alternative than leaving her in Mississippi by herself. She is not a white woman infiltrating their system. She just came back home because her mama died. She's not infiltrating. The reason they don't want her, Stack doesn't want her there, is in the chance that somebody from Arkansas sees her there. Because in Arkansas, she's a white woman. Because they don't know her cultural, biological, genetic background. Anyway, Stack still is telling her, you need to get gone and stay away from me. Anyway, back to the club. They get everything set up. Delroy Lindo's character, Slim, is playing the piano. He's singing. The little cousin preacher boy, Sammy, he joins in. He's playing his guitar. He's singing. Everybody is dancing. The most beautiful scene is when Sammy's music starts to break through, like, different generations across basically the diaspora. And you get African culture, you get the 30s, and it just like goes all the way up to old school hip hop. Which is like, like 90s hip hop. We eventually get all the way up to twerking, like, and then there's even like some Asian dancing and cultural influences because they're also at the park, and it just transcends time and space, and the building burns, and in that moment there's a knock eventually, and it's the white people. Oh, I didn't tell y'all about the vampire. Child, the vampire goes to these white people's house, and he's like, I need y'all to help me some They're saying Indians in the movie because this is the 1930s, but the Native Americans are trying to get me. Child, and I knew when he said that the Native Americans was after him, I said, oh, this is the evil spirit. This is him. And of course, the white people, they had that KKK stuff up in that house, so they was gonna help that white man out. And the Native Americans come, knock, knock, knock. The lady comes to the door with her gun, I think. Excuse me, ma'am. Did a white man come running up in here? He is not who he says he is. Y'all need to put him at your house. We're here to help. She said, get away from my house. The Native American said, oh well, time to go. He said, all right, good, God bless you. He went and hopped in his wagon with his other friends and said, the sun's going down. The sun's about to set. We need to get out of here. We going home. Because the rule is vampires cannot just enter your domain wherever you are. I'm not going to say house because the juke joint is not a house. They cannot enter your domain without being welcomed in. Child, the vampire, obviously, he's in the house of them white folks. He bites them and kill them, and they become vampires. The three of them go to the juke joint. Knock, knock, knock. We heard that beautiful music that man was singing. Talking about Sammy. Because his music it transcends space and time. So the vampire could hear it. And he's like, I need that because I need to be in touch with my ancestors. I need to transcend. They said, you can't come in here. So the Irish vampire and the other two white people, they sat outside. They did a little banjo music and whatnot. Talking about some rabbit foots and eating bones and whatever. I don't know what they was talking about. But they said, They kept that door open too long. Close the door. Marvin said back, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. Somebody needs to close the doors. They sat there talking to the people too long. And then Stag starts to tell Mary about how they smoked and told him they ain't really making no money because black people in the South, them sharecroppers don't have hard cash, hard coin. They got them wood nickels from the plantation owners that they be sharecropping at. That money don't spend outside of that small town because it ain't real money. He tells Mary this, and Mary's like, oh, they think I'm white. I can go talk to him. Child. Stack gave Mary that gun and said, be careful. Mary went outside, tried to talk to them. She saw that that vampire started drooling. Eyes started turning red. She said, y'all need to go back where y'all came from. I'm going back inside. Turn around to try to take off back inside. And that vampire juiced up into the air. Sometime later, she went knocking at that door. And Cornbread don't know she a vampire. So what does he do? He welcomes her inside. While this is going on, Cornbread decides, I have to use the bath. I have to go pee. And for some reason, he goes way deep into the woods. Delta Slim is watching the door for him. Mary get stacked up in that room. Sycamore said, we got some things to do. Long story short, that girl bites Stack and kills Stack. Smoke walk in as it's happening and shoots her. She take them bullets like Incredible Hulk and pop back up. We finna kill all of y'all. Takes off running out the door to the other vampires. Annie is a hoodoo priestess. So she's trying to tell Smoke, we gotta put Stack's body outside. I don't know what's wrong with Mary. She tripping. But you see how you just shot her and she just popped back up? We need to get Stack out of here because something ain't right with them folks. Smoke is like, this is my brother. He just locked the door and tell Sammy to guard the door. Protect him. He dead, Smoke. He dead. Protect what? Child. Long story short, Stack wake up eventually. Smoke wanna go in the room. Annie telling him, don't you take your ass in that room. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. Leave it locked. Leave it locked. Leave it locked. And then when eventually Stack breaks out of the room, but Annie is ready with like some vinegar, pickled vinegar water, something. Whatever not vinegar, garlic, pickled garlic, or garlic water, something. Whatever she got, garlic. Throw it on him when he get out that door. He take off running out the building. Forgot to mention to y'all, in the midst of this happening, after Stack gets killed, before he comes to, they tell all of the patrons in the building, y'all gotta go. The party is over. So what happens? They send all these innocent people outside where the vampires are waiting, because they don't realize that these are vampires yet. So this whole party of people that goes outside to go home get wrangled up and are now vampires. Cornbread never makes it back from the bathroom. When he does come back, he's, let me in. Aren't you gonna welcome me in? Oh, Stack died? Oh, that's sad. Like, he's very like, what are you doing? And Annie puts it together. Why you gotta be welcomed in, Cornbread? You've been here with us all day. Why you can't walk in here? You bigger than all of us. Because the Miller guy who plays him is super tall. And he's like, that's not polite. His brother died. I'm trying to be comforting. Like, it. And then he's like, can I have my money? And he puts his hand out like, it kind of made me think of, you ever seen those Leprechaun in the Hood movies, or From the Hood, like whatever movies from back in the day? And he'd be like, I just want your gold. That's kind of what, you're gonna give me my money? Can I have my money? And he's like, but his hand is like really close to him. Like, he doesn't like extend it. It's like, anyway, Smoke goes to give him the money. He yanks Smoke's arm trying to bite it, but Smoke got away. And then they see a man passed out in a building. Think he got bit because he's surrounded by red stuff. It was that Italian wine. It was not. It was not blood. Anyway, they throw him outside, thinking he finna turn. When he wake up, Cornbread get help to him and kill him, y'all. It was sad. Once Annie figures out what's going on, she's like, this is what we gotta do. We just gotta make it to morning. We gotta make it to the sunrise. Because they vampires. Once the sun comes out, they leave it. Then we can go, y'all. The vampire... Oh, when all this is going on, the Asian lady, Grace, Chinese lady, she sends her husband to get the car. Because, once again, she's not really interested in... She's not really interested in them. You know what I mean? It's just like, this is they customers. I make my money and go about my business. So when Stack is killed, she shows absolutely no concern. She's like, Bo, go get the car. We not here for all this. We got our money. Let's go. Basically, Bo goes out. He never makes it back because that vampire is out there doing that 8-town stump. Then got him. Yeah, the river dancing and then got Bo. She finds out about this, and she's like, Bo was out there. And then that vampire, Remick, that's the leader, he tells her, like, we going to the town. I'm going to get your daughter. Let me in. And they trying to tell her, like, don't fall for it. Remick is basically already told them he wants Sammy because of that. He wants Sammy's mind, essentially. And all he has to do is bite him to have his mind. Because they all kind of have, like, a groupthink mentality, where Remick can hear and see everything about them once they become a part of his clan, essentially. And so he really only wanted Sammy. And that's what they were trying to tell us. Like, we just got to make it to morning. He is not going to go get your daughter. She's selfish. And she is, come here, come here. Anyway, it's a fight to the death. And everybody died. Stack bites Annie. Annie made Smoke earlier in the movie promise, if I get bit, make sure you stab me with a stake through the heart before I turn. Because I got my baby waiting on me on the other side and I need to see him. And he waiting on you too. Smoke had to stab Annie. Remick reveals eventually the Klan was coming to kill y'all anyway. That white man that y'all bought this place from, this is a kill house. This is a kill house, for lack of a better term, for black people. The KKK bring people here. They pretend they sell in this building, and they kill y'all. They coming back for y'all in the morning. And everybody dies except Smoke and Sammy. Smoke ends up stabbing Remick through the heart with a stake. Sun comes out, all the other vampires die, Remick dies. We see Smoke basically tell the cousin go home. Smoke take that necklace off that been protecting him this whole movie. He get his guns out the back of the truck that they came with in the beginning. And he just wait for the Klan to come. He killing people left and right, shooting with this, shooting with that, throwing grenades in their cars, bodies dropping left, bodies. Everybody dying. Smoke gets shot. And it's like he's caught kind of in between two worlds where the Klan member is still talking to him, but Annie is holding their baby and breastfeeding their baby beside him, and she's like, put the cigarette out and you can hold him. I don't want all that smoke on him. Such a beautiful scene. Anyway, he puts the cigarette out, he kills the Klansman. I think he was probably the Grand Wizard. I think he was the leader, but he holds the baby. We cut to back at the beginning scene where the son runs home and his dad's telling him to put the guitar down. He never put the guitar down though, because then we get a cut to in 1992, I think. And he is a legendary blues player, and Stack and Mary come visit him, and we find out that Smoke couldn't kill Stack, and he told him, like, just leave Sammy alone, let him live his life. So after Smoke let Stack go, Stack ran out before the sun came out, grabbed Mary, and ran off with her. So that's why they survived. Sidebar. Oh, real quick, let me wrap this up. Stack asks Sammy if he wants him to turn him because he could tell that Sammy is knocking on death's door at this point because he's an old man. And Sammy's like, nope, I'm good. And Sammy's like asking Stack, like, for that one night. I think about that night all the time. It was the best night of my life up until everything went wrong, basically. Do you think about it too? And Stack says, yeah. It was the last time I saw my brother. It was the last time I saw the sun. And I was talking to my husband about this. I feel like that was a small tribute to Chadwick Boseman, because in the end of the first Black Panther movie, Killmonger talks about wanting to see the sunrise or whatever in Wakanda, and when he's dying, T'Challa takes him on top of that cliff, and he looks at the sun in Wakanda for the first time. And the shot ends with just Smoke and Stack looking at the sunset in Mississippi. And to me, it just felt like it's the last time I saw my brother, as in that's the last time we saw Chadwick and Michael in a film together. It's the last time I saw my brother, the last time I saw the sun. I don't know, that's just what it made me think of. I could be wrong, but that's what it made me think of. Anyway, the movie was great. I literally only rated it a 9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10 because I did not want Annie and Smoke to die. But I think their death was kind of rewarded in the fact that in the afterlife they were with their child. Because I feel like maybe them surviving would have been more traumatic to continue living a life knowing, damn, I'm supposed to have a baby here and that baby's not here. So maybe not traumatic for them to die, but I was hoping they survived. But anyways, I did find out that the old man who plays adult Sammy is Shauna, the rappers from DTP, Shauna's dad in real life. And I ain't talking about it too much in this movie, but a big part of this movie was finding the button. And the interesting thing is that Shauna's biggest song is also about finding the button. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I really do recommend going to see Sinners. It was a great movie. I had a great time watching it. Anyways, I will see you guys in my next video.